I guess on my hair, she look all right. And with that actually sitting there like this creams, and I had to have them, sis. All 5 of them. Here, I just had, we're gonna discontinue it, but I had to pick up their book of shadows, honey. Color grade makes cheap fan, expensive breeze, good times. Wow, so serious. I think we're recording, so let's go ahead and get into it. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Torrence here. If you all are a returning subscriber, I would like to say thank you. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button. I try to upload 3 times a week, but if y'all, been paying attention, y'all noticed I was not available last week. I had to tend to my family. Luckily, with all the love, prayers, and the medical help, everybody's home from the hospital, so I'm blessed to say that. Did go get my leg checked out. Still don't have a 100% conclusive answer yet, but the swelling is going down. It's that pain that just still keeps irritating me, so I'm just trying to keep up the best of spirits. I wanted to get something up for you all because right now I'm looking at the clock. It is 10:32 at night. I was getting ready to do my nighttime skincare and realized, Torrence, you don't have nothing up for tomorrow. Remember, that's what this Uncut series was for. If I can just get 30 minutes of recording going, I can get a video out for you all. So today, I'm not 100% sure exactly what was the name of the subscriber, but someone left a comment asking me to do a video like this. I'll make sure I leave their name right here. It was in my previous video where I was answering my subscriber questions. Right now, my brain is foggy, honey, so y'all gonna have to excuse me if I, get some words messed up. My apologies. But with this, once again, 50 different palettes from 50 different brands. The thing is, some brands did not make the cut because if I've never actually used the brand, then I couldn't put it in there even if I actually have palettes from them. I didn't want to say one was my favorite just because of color story. I wanted to say with all 50 of these, I've actually used them at least one time. So that's why I got it. Some of the brands that could not make it, even though I own products from them, have been Adept Cosmetics, Sydney Grace, Beauty Bakery. I know I own like 4 or 5 Beauty Bakery eyeshadow palettes. Ofra, Hipdot, Maybelline, NYX, Profusion, Stilazzi, Flower Beauty, Lorac. I remember I used to own all the Lorac Pro palettes, got rid of those, and then when they reformulated, bought the new ones. Still haven't had time to use them, so they didn't make it today. Black Opal, Black Opal is a brand, I know every time I use one of their foundations, that's some of the most popular videos on my channel. But unfortunately for the eyeshadow palettes, I just haven't gotten around to it. And it seems I've already wasted about 2.5 minutes, so I need to get started. This first group, it appears to be about 10 palettes. I'm going to try to make sure I number them out loud 1 through 50 to make sure I don't forget nothing. But with this first group, these are all palettes where I only own 1 eyeshadow palette from the brand. All the other 40, I have more than 1. It's just that with these, it just so happens I only own 1. And they are all limited edition sold out palettes. So my apologies, but I wanted to be honest with everything. So we're going to start off right here with the first one. Oh my God, I want their new palettes, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get them into my budget. This is going to be the 5 Colors palette in the shade 657 Expose. This is by Dior Beauty, and I love this and got this in store. I remember picking this up at Nordstrom simply because it has that green shade there in the middle. I didn't know which palette I wanted to get, and with greens being my favorite, she just instantly became the one that I grabbed. She isn't the most vibrant green, but she was the green that they had in store that day, so that was the one I ended up picking. This next palette here is going to be Gold Shimmer number 28. This is a complete eye palette by Burberry Beauty, and I got this simply because the packaging was beautiful. I'm trying to see how you open this bad boy. Packaging, absolutely stunning. On the inside, it's just 4 gold shades. It's the only palette I have from Burberry, so this is the reason why she became number 1, my favorite. Well, this is technically palette number 2 on the list. I don't have them in order or anything for favorites. I just want to make sure I say them out loud to make sure I remember. Palette number 3, they still have this palette by the name, but they've changed the colors. They made them much more muted and more everyday friendly. I'm so glad I got it back then while they were bold and vivid. But for palette number 3, we have the Rebel palette by Charlotte Tilbury. And with this being the Rebel, that's a name that Rihanna has gone by, and with Rihanna having green eyes, this green palette was something I absolutely had to have. And I'm glad I got it before they muted it down. So you can still get the Rebel palette, but she won't be like that. For number 4, it was a palette that we all knew was going to sell out. There was no doubt about it. It is the only palette I've ever had from the brand because the greens that I wanted sold out before I could get to them. And that is the Club Nebula palette. This is Kaleidos and Angelica Nyqvist. Absolutely stunning. If you did not get her, honey, you missed out on a moment because look at these colors. You have beautiful mattes, you have beautiful metallics, beautiful packaging. So for number 4, I had to get this. There was no doubt in my mind. I knew for sure I was grabbing that one. Next up, let me grab a stack of them here. For number 5, I'm loving my greens. This is the Edgitorial palette number 750 by Marc Jacobs Beauty. Got her, once again, that green shade there. I had multiple of these, but in a recent declutter video, I gave them away. I'll make sure I try to leave that video linked right here above. Any video that I can't leave linked above, I'll make sure I leave in the description bar below because a lot of these palettes do have tutorials, so I may not be able to get everything up. But number 5, Edgitorial from Marc Jacobs. And I do believe Marc Jacobs is shutting down, so if you want anything from the brand, you may have to hurry up and get up on it. Same thing right here for number 6. We have the Becca and Jaclyn Hill palette. This was called the Champagne Collection Eye Palette. This is a palette that didn't even get a chance to sell out. I believe it was pulled because of manufacturing issues. Some people were able to get it. I'm one of those people who was because I'm a Hillster, so you wasn't going to tell me I can't get my Jaclyn Hill products, honey. But this palette here, she's extremely basic, extremely neutral. But Becca wasn't known for their eyeshadow palette, so many people didn't actually get up on them. So I believe, from my knowledge, I can only remember them coming out with 2 other palettes that were much more all matte 5-pan palettes. But this was the only one I was interested in. So at number 6, we have the Becca and Jaclyn Hill. Number 7, we have the only palette I have from Kevyn Aucoin. This is the Nude Pop palette, and I got this due to a recommendation from Kelsey Brianna J. It was at a time where warm neutrals was taking over, so to not only have a cool tone palette, but one that was also purple, because purple was something I wasn't into, it made this palette that much more worthwhile. So at number 7, this is the only palette I have from Kevyn Aucoin. And the mattes are so buttery, the metallics are so shimmery, I don't see me ever getting rid of this palette. Number 8, a collaboration palette, and I still have it in the container. I'm telling you, I saved that there just because it upsets me when I first bought this palette. I ended up giving it to a friend who managed not to get it because I kept saying if they restock it and I can get it, I'll get that palette. Come to find out, the one I gave away was the original palette with the misprinted word, and that was the one that was to collect and save, but I had already given it to a friend. So at number 8, we have the NYX Cosmetics and Smoky Glow Collab palette. She's beautiful. She's not really my color story, but the pigmentation and everything is beautiful. I usually go in exactly for the shimmers, especially this top purple one in here. She's absolutely beautiful. To me, did 2 of my shades just fall out on camera? Oh my goodness, honey. Oh my goodness. Oh. I am so glad they did not shatter or anything. But sis, that was just scary as... Let me try to hold it like this. I'm not even about to tip this over no more because I am scared to do that again. But at number 8, we have the NYX Cosmetics palette. And honey, let's hurry up and put her back up. Ooh wee. Number 9, the only reason it's the only one I have from the brand is because it's the only one that the brand has ever put out. And that is the Texture Neutrals Volume 1 by Tatty Beauty. Big, ginormous, beautiful mirror. When they say textured neutrals, honey, you have a variety of textures. Matte, you have your matte with sparkles, your metallics, your glitters. She's stunning, she's beautiful. And at number 9, I'm telling you, I have a tutorial on this palette. I absolutely love her. But that matte with sparkle row, she gonna be some issues. But that's the one I had to have at number 9. It's the only one I get. I know everybody in the makeup community is wondering if they're ever gonna put out another palette. We don't know, but we are gonna continue to wait. For number 10, I'm not sure if this was the 2017 or the 2018 collab. I mean, well, not collab, holiday palette. I'll make sure I leave it in the description bar below. But for this one, we got to come up here because I've depotted and rearranged it. It's this palette right here. It's for Makeup Forever, and I believe it was the 2017 holiday palette, but it could have been the 2018 one. And I rearranged it, and when I'm telling you, those colors were beautiful, honey. This palette was absolutely stunning. You could do so much with it, whether you wanted to go neutral, whether you wanted to go colorful, and that single red shade right there is what made it worth the whole palette to me. Makeup Forever singles are expensive. I have some of those right here, but when they came out with that palette, it made it fabulous. I had to keep it. They've came out with several other ones. I depotted it and gave them all away. Here are a few of them from the old singles, these circular ones, but the only full palette I ever kept was that holiday one there. Now that we got that out the way, honey, let me put some of these down, because baby, I got a towel right here on the floor just to catch some of these shadows, because I do not want to risk just dropping them and throwing them and anything breaking, honey. So I'm trying to shimmy them over because I can't get up and walk around. Let me put those down. All right, now what we gonna go to next? Okay, number 11 through 14. I can start right here. Affordable palettes. I know affordable don't mean the same thing for everybody. For me, my budget and my lifestyle, I consider affordable to be $25 or less. That's just for me. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I tend to be more of a high-end luxury type of person, so I don't have many, which is why it's only 4. But my 4 favorite drugstore palettes. First up, we have the Bite Size palette in Truffles from e.l.f. Baby, she $3, she's small, and that's why she's right here at number 11. She's beautiful. I believe I've even done a tutorial with this palette here. 3 mattes, 1 metallic. You can't get no better than this to me. The black does have some sparkles in it, but to me, once it's on the eye, you don't really notice it. And the thing is, oh, excuse me, I have that green jalapeno one, and I truly believe if I use that one, I will like it more. But because I haven't gotten to it, number 11 is the e.l.f. Truffles palette. Number 12, I know I've done a tutorial on this. It was a get ready with me video. You can check that out right here. This is my favorite ColourPop palette. I think if you have a deeper complexion or if you just like darker colors, you may prefer the Wild Child palette. But at number 12 for me is going to be the Going Coconuts palette. I've rearranged mine to, my personal preference just because I like the colors to line up a certain way. But this is ColourPop's #1 selling palette of all time. And I'm part of the reason on why it is, because this palette is my favorite out of all of the ColourPop palettes. She's so basic, but so beautiful, so stress-free. I pray they never get rid of this, because if for any reason this goes bad, I'm going to want another one. Got to have her at number 12. Number 13, a palette you can still get. It was a limited edition collab. They said it was an eye and cheek palette, but 9 times out of 10, if I'm wearing it on the eyes, and every single time I've worn it, it has stopped the crowd. And for me, that is the Justine Skye for the Lip Bar palette. This is an Elegant collection. Baby, when I tell you, when she first came out, I believe she was $25, but you can still get her on the website right now for $15. So I promise you, please check this out. I even did a tutorial because I bought the entire collection. It was fabulous. These colors look beautiful on the eyes. They look beautiful on the face, especially if you have a deeper melanated complexion. This dual chrome right here, oh my God, she's absolutely beautiful. I love her. That's why she number 13, honey. She's great. She's beautiful. Number 14, I believe she tops the price tag right there at the $25 mark for it, and that's why she got it. I don't have many Revolution Pro or Revolution makeup products. I believe I have both of the Tammy ones and the Emily ones, but my favorite one so far, simply because it contains glitters. If you don't like glitters, you may not like it, but for me, the Tropical Twilight by Tammy X Revolution palette, she's my favorite one from them at number 14. She's bold, she's neutral, she's textured, whether you want just shimmers or glitters, she offers you everything, and that's why I love it. I've never used the mattes. I've only, swatched the shimmers, but it's the glitters that I go in here for. One day I said I'm going to do a full look with it, but as somebody who absolutely loves glitters, that is what drew me to this palette. I'm telling you, you can catch this on sale most of the time, usually at Ulta, but even at full price, I wish they would have just did one whole palette of glitters, but I love her here. Got to have her at number 14. Next up, because those are the drugstore ones, these next group are what I would consider my version of mid-range. And that's for me, that group between the $25 and $50 mark. If I got to break more than that $50 bill, to me, that's when you start to be high-end. So we got a couple of palettes in this range here, and I just wanted to show y'all which one of those is. Number 15, we have, and that's a beautiful thing too. With all of the palettes I'm showing now, I believe these are all available. When I get to ones that ain't available, I'm going to get back to that and tell y'all. But between that $25 and $50 mark, next up we have the Shade and Light palette by Kat Von D. Well, KVD, my apologies. Man, I say Kat Von D right here, that's why I said that. But I remember when this first came out in the cardboard packaging, that was the one to get. And if I would have known they were going to switch over, I would have never gotten rid of my old one. But I have it here in the plastic one. The formula is still as beautiful, but she's just a basic all matte neutral palette. This is something you take to have additional shades, or anytime you buy an all shimmer palette, you don't have to worry about being able to create a complete look. So that's why I have her. I love her. Don't want to get rid of her. Next up, Artist Couture. They have many palettes, but my favorite one so far, the Supreme Bronze palette, honey. Wait, I done grabbed the wrong palette. Sis, wrong one. You know what? I got to go shimmy over here because, honey, I can't lie on that. This is Supreme Bronze. I meant to grab the Supreme News. Y'all got to give me a second. Oh, yeah. I got to hope I can get over here without y'all seeing this. Let me get over there. Ooh, honey, this leg is bothering me. So just stepping right over there to this shelf. Just heard it like a fool. I'm just not noticing I said Supreme Bronze. That is so wrong, that is so wrong. Next up, and I done lost my count. That was 14, that make 15. This number 16. Number 16 is Supreme Nudes by Artist Couture. I said Supreme Bronze the first time, that ain't it. The Supreme Nudes, number 16, you got to get her, honey. She fabulous. And she ain't even catching up on the screen. I need y'all to see that. Oh, there she go. Number 16, Supreme Nudes, you got to get into her. She got a pop of green. I love her. I believe I've even done a tutorial on this as well. Wouldn't want to be without her. Number 17, basic to the point, just like the Kat Von D. The Tartelette palette by Tarte. She all matte, just gonna get you straight to the point. If you're somebody who likes to do all matte looks, she'll get you there. But if you're somebody who has an all shimmer palette and need an addition, she'll bring you what you need. I love the fact that they have those purples in the middle, so if you want to pop a color, she'll get you going. So that's number 17. Number 18, am I sure? 14, 15, 16, 17. Number 18, we got the Juicy Olive by Give Me Glow. Honey. Do I got to tell you why she made number 18? Greens. You already know. Greens are my favorites. I love greens. Never want to be without them. And anytime I can support an indie brand, makes it even better. Number 19, another green palette. Had to have it. Black owned indie brand. This is the Uma Beauty Allure palette. The packaging is beautiful. I did a tutorial with this. The look was fabulous. You can check her out right here. Fabulous. Number 19, honey. Get into her. I personally find that the shimmers in these have slightly larger chunks, but that doesn't bother me. Number 20, we're getting back to basics, back to neutrals. Something everybody can have in their collection, everybody will love. The Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette. Honey, she's straight to the point. You don't have to worry about it. Although she does have some matte shimmers, some matte colorful shades, it's those neutrals that set it off. Those metallics are beautiful. My favorite one is this one here, Creme Brulee. And a lot of times you can catch this palette on sale. So I'm telling you, right here, number 20, you better try to get into it. You better try to find her if you can. And to try to make sure I don't lose count of what I did and so far, let me move these over here. Okay, now we're going to try to remember that we already put number 20 away, so now let's jump into number 21. Let's keep on going. Sigma, Quarter Rosa. Number 21, you can still get her. She's less than $50. And to me, she's what I call the Modern Renaissance's prettier sister. I personally find the Modern Renaissance okay, but she's a little too orange for me. Not enough shimmers, not enough depth. To me, this is the one that comes in and do it for me. And I remember when I posted a look with this palette, Sigma retweeted my picture on Twitter. Made my day, honey. And I'm trying to show y'all this without this brush falling, but he may fall off, so let me go ahead and let him. Let me get y'all a close-up of this for number 21. Look at how beautiful that palette is. I do not mind using this. Anytime I think of using the Modern Renaissance, I just like, Number 22, a palette that I have a tutorial on. Absolutely bought it just to support Teresa. This is the Lethal Cosmetics and Teresa is Dead, Lethal is Dead palette, honey. This is still available, but this is limited edition, so you better grab her while you can. I would check authentic online retailers. I would not recommend buying it, secondhand if you can get it from the authentic person. But at 22, had to get this just to support Teresa. It's the only palette I have from Lethal Cosmetics, but she was worth it. At number 23 is a beautiful palette, honey, an amazing palette. And many of you may not have heard of the brand, but anytime I find out they have palettes, anytime I find out about their palettes, I drop a video for them. I just got their 4th palette in. I haven't done it yet, but my favorite of them all is the Detroit palette by the Face FX, honey. This is an indie brand by Phoebe Scott, and I remember when I did a tutorial on this palette, you all absolutely loved her. Look at the color story here, honey. Neutrals, but you also give me a pop of green, honey, so I had to get into her. I absolutely love this palette. It is the largest palette from the brand and my favorite. So at number 23, honey, you the GOAT, baby. I got to put you in there. I got to have you, and I love this palette. But I'm telling y'all, the next palette they got is a purple one, so I cannot wait to get into that. Number 24, we have the Side by Side palette by Nebula Cosmetics. This is my favorite Nebula palette simply because the metallics and the mattes in this are beautiful, but it's the metallics that set it off. The thing is, I am somebody who disinfects my palettes after every use, so you can look and tell mine is not as pretty as many other people's. So if for any reason you do spray your palette down with alcohol, it's not going to have that same little beautiful design that other people's will. It will get funky looking, but I would rather the palette look a mess than actually grow germs and things like that. So let me make sure I give you a close-up view of this palette. But this here is number 24, the Side by Side by Nebula. Next up, we have palettes that are available for purchase, but all of these palettes cost more than $50 to get, honey. And that's why I got them over here to the side, because I'm like, yeah, honey, y'all cost y'all a little penny. Y'all be trying to make sure everybody, want y'all, but y'all be costing so much a lot of people can't get y'all. But these are palettes I would recommend anybody grab, just simply because I think the formula is a beautiful. So we're going to start with number 25. We have the Tom Ford iQuad and Nude Dip. Honey, out of all of the Tom Ford palettes, to me, I believe his wet dry formula is the one that's worth the money. His matte formula is beautiful, his metallic is beautiful, but this wet dry formula is just something different about it. And if you are looking for a beautiful cool tone palette, I think this is the way to go. I'm telling you, these 4 cool tone shades is one of the palettes that helped me get into cool tones, and that's why I recommend him out of all of them for, you know, number 25. She is beautiful. For number 26, honey, I know when I first did this tutorial, I have it right here. I'll try to leave that right here. I gave it just an okay review, and I believe that was because I was trying to use every shade in the palette at the time. I wasn't just trying to use it and create a cohesive, simple look. Once I went back and started using her much more simply, because I have 3 of his 4 palettes, one of them sold out before I could get to it. This one is the one that is my favorite of them all, but I truly believe when I can get a hold to that pearl, it will dethrone this. So for Wayne Goss, my favorite one will be the, for Wayne Goss, my favorite eyeshadow palette is the Imperial Topaz. Let me give you a look at this here. And this is at number 26 simply because it has beautiful neutrals and I love a matte black smoky eye, and this offers me the chance to do so. I believe half of his palettes, if not 3 of them, no, I think, yeah, 2 of his palettes have matte blacks, 2 of them don't. So that's what makes these beautiful. I love a matte black, so I will always use this with other palettes no matter which ones he come out with. So this is my favorite at number 26. At number 27, honey, she gonna cost you a pretty penny, but when it dropped, I think everybody was interested in it. Everybody just had to know what the formula was like simply because he had came out with other things that were beautiful. And even though I haven't used the mattes on this, I truly have used the shimmers and I love them. And that is going to be the Major Dimension palette by Patrick Ta. This palette here comes in at number 27. And I'm trying not to blind you. Let me see if I can open this flap up so you can see. The 2 shades on your far left are creams. The top rows are full of metallics. And it doesn't look like she's going to let me give y'all a view without her trying to blind you. I may have to hold it back like this so you can see. That top row is metallics, the bottom row is mattes, and these left 2 are creams. She's a beautiful palette, honey. I personally recommend you get her, but if you can, I will wait till the Sephora Rouge sale because she is a little pricey. But she number 27. At number 28, honey, we have one of the most expensive palettes on the list. She's my absolute favorite, and my friend Chanel bought me this palette as a gift, so I could never see myself getting rid of it, honey. She's going to have to start growing, molding things, and crawling around on her own for me to get rid of her, and that is the Mothership 5 by Pat McGrath. Honey, the color story on this bad boy is so fabulous. She is so beautiful. There's no way she wouldn't have made the list. And at number 28, honey, she should just be number 1 because she is absolutely beautiful. Every shade is beautiful on this. I'm telling you, if I could only recommend one Pat McGrath palette, number 28, Mothership 5. Number 29 is my favorite. I know with many people, they like the new nudes. With me, y'all know I like that black smoky eye, so I had to pick the Rose Gold Remastered for number 29 by Huda Beauty. The thing is, y'all ain't hear from me. This is the Rose Gold Remaster, but look out because I put my ear out to the streets and I done heard she got a Rose Quartz palette coming out. I ain't seen nothing about it online yet, but my people who got some insight, they told me that Rose Quartz palette is coming and I got to get up on it. But for now, at number 29, we got this palette here, and I want to move this out the way. And I'm telling y'all, the mattes are buttery, the metallics are so shiny and so full, but more than likely you'll be more comfortable using your fingers or a silicone applicator to get your shine going with these. But this palette is beautiful. And I love it. I know a lot of people don't like these little inserts or that she put her face on everything, but I keep them because I think it's cute. And honey, if I had a brand, I wouldn't mind putting my face on stuff either, so I ain't gonna hate on Huda, honey. The brand is named after her. We're going to let her do her thing. Number 30 is the most expensive palette on the list, and she is the Natasha Denona Gold palette. Right now, she is available, but Natasha has said that she is discontinuing this palette. So if you want it, I believe the only place to get it is Sephora, and you better get up on it quick, honey, because once she gone, I believe she's going to be gone, and you could tell the reason I got her. She may be called the gold palette, but she got a touch of green to her, and that's what makes her absolutely fabulous to me. And at number 30, once again, for $129, she is the most expensive palette on the list. And my camera is about to cut off, and we only at 30 of my 50. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead, cut the camera. When I come back, I'm gonna recount these first 30 just to make sure that they all are actually at number 30. Make sure what number I'm at, and then we'll come back and finish off from the rest. Be right back, honey. All right, y'all, we back. Took a minute, but I decided, you know what? Instead of just counting everything and put it to the side, why don't you just go ahead and put it up so you don't have a mess at the end? So I know for sure we've already did 30. Now we got to keep going. Still going with the expensive palettes that you can still buy. Number 31, the Colored Rain Vivid Pigments palette. When this bad boy first dropped, it came out as singles, and I really couldn't afford it at the time, so I missed it. But when it came out in palettes, honey, I bought several of these because at one point in time, I depotted my entire Colored Rain collection. And when I did, I accidentally shattered this red sauce. So I have it in a little cup or whatever, because I was not going to get rid of it just because he was single. But I wanted another one just to be beautiful in case they got rid of it. And I want to show y'all this up close and personal because, honey, she may be $50 at full price, but I'm telling y'all, you can catch this on sale all the time, and I truly believe she is worth the full $50 price tag. You would never have to ask me, do I want it? Is it worth it? Yes. Go ahead and grab it. Number 32, she's an expensive neutral boy, and she's the only one I have from Scott Barnes, but I'm not gonna lie, it's a whole lot of things from Scott Barnes I want, but his prices just be like, ooh-wee. My favorite palette from him, the Snatchural palette, honey. This is the Snatchural Volume 1. She's a neutral palette, and I'm telling you, she is beautiful. The color variety, the formula, she's amazing. I personally prefer a little glitter, but Scott Barnes is a little too classy for all of that. She's amazing. If you want something that is just basic neutral, go ahead and get her. I personally recommend signing up for the emailing list. That way you can get those sales. Because I'm telling you, at $82, she a priceable baby. Next up, this group of stuff is expensive palettes. That means all of them are over $50, but none of these are available. And honey, I got them. I'm glad I got them while I could. But if you didn't get them, depending on which one they are, I would say, actually no, because they are my favorites, I would say you should have got them all. But don't feel bad if you didn't. At number 33, the Dose of Color Friendication palette. This palette was available for a while at the original price. Many people didn't want it, but I loved her so much that I have a separate one and I depotted her. Actually, in that larger palette I showed y'all, that Makeup Forever one, the depotted version of that is, you know, one of these. And one of these have been depotted and it is put in that palette, but I want to give y'all a close-up of this because this is the one I've never used. Look at the way those metallics shine in the light, honey. At number 33, I had to have her. She is absolutely beautiful. That's one you should have get. Number 34, I need NYX Cosmetics to bring it back, honey. They seem to bring back everything but this. My favorite palette from them of all time, this is the Gemini palette. Come on, number 34, as a green lover, as somebody who loves a matte black smoky eye, tell me I wasn't gonna love it. Like, you can tell. I got mine on the very first launch. There was no way you could pay me not to get it. I have been supporting Lorelai since the very beginning of NYX Cosmetics. And when they said they were switching over to palettes, at first my feelings was hurt because I really did enjoy the stacks, but it seems like the world wasn't over there with me on that. So, number 35. This was that palette I feel as if you either absolutely loved her or hated her. I loved her. This is probably the most palette, this is probably the palette I've traveled with most from the brand. And from NARS, that is going to be the Wanted palette. She was just beautiful for me, and the shimmers is what did it. I remember the very first time I went to Canada, I took this palette with me, and everybody asked me what was I wearing on the eyes. And she was fabulous, and I absolutely love this basic palette. When I first got her, I was looking at the mattes like, you could use a little more. I really wish I could have got one more darker brown. that was in between this shade and this shade here, but the shimmers made up for it. So at number 35, the NARS Wanted palette, got to have it. At number 36, by Bobbi Brown, I only have 2 palettes from the brand because I've been so spoiled by the Diamond Dust formula that anytime I don't see it, I don't even look at Bobbi Brown eyeshadows. I'm like, I want this Diamond Dust formula back. So my favorite is the Caviar and Rubies palette, and I believe I bought this on a recommendation from Desi. I believe she was the one who got me up on it, and it's that middle shade Gilded. I bought this whole palette just for that one shade, and you could just look at how creamy and metallic and how full that is on camera. I'm telling you, if they could just come out with one palette full of just those shades there, that one formula, I would not care about the price. I would pre-order it. They could have all of my money, honey, all of my money. I'm just sitting here looking at it like. Number 37, honey, we got Fenty Beauty. A lot of people, either you loved it or hated it. I absolutely loved it. The Moroccan Spice palette. A lot of people personally felt as if she was too overpriced, but my baby, honey, I had to send her that coin. I needed it, and every time I go out to a comedy club, this is more than likely the palette I've worn, and I absolutely love the Moroccan Spice. So at number 37, you can't get her no more, but I got mine, and I'm telling you, don't regret having her. Number 38, although many of these shades are still available as singles, I rarely ever see MAC still doing 15 pan palettes, but my favorite from them is the MAC and X15 Warm Neutral palette. Only thing that could have made this palette better to me is 2 things. 1, if it would have came with a matte black, or 2, if these pans would have been removable. But because they weren't, honey, I just had to go with it. But every shade in here that is available as individuals, I have it. I personally wish they would have come back and did them all, but they didn't. But this was just the perfect travel warm neutral palette. I knew all I needed was a few additional shades on the side, such as a black. But for this, you can get a complete eye look, and she's fabulous. And I really wish the brand would bring her back, because at number 38, I'm loving her. Number 39, my holy grail favorite eyeshadow palette of all time, honey. They don't sell it no more. I truly believe they're going to remix it and bring it back, but number 39 just hurt my feelings because I want them to bring this one back. I don't want a different version of it. This is the Viseart Grande Pro 3. I know I've been showing y'all a whole bunch of neutral palettes, honey. Neutrals, you know, are everyday friendly, but I'm a colorful person. And I'm a green person, and this palette here to me is the greatest of them all. It just don't get no better than her. Number 39, honey, I absolutely love you. It's just, if you even have a friend who has this, just ask them one day, can you use it? Even if you got to go over to their house and use it. Just test this palette out for any reason if you can, and I promise you, you're going to be a lover of Viseart for life. The next few, because we're about to be at number 40, the next few are palettes that I would say were not necessarily drugstore. They were more on the high end because they were between that $25 and $50 mark. But the first group of them are palettes that you unfortunately can no longer get. And it just sucks because even though they are more affordable than the ones that were above $50, they still have been either sold out or discontinued. And I really wish everybody could have got a hold of them before they were gone. So starting things off, number 40, it even shocked me when I sat back and think about it, but my favorite palette from Too Faced is the Just Peachy Mattes palette. She's absolutely adorable. The packaging sort of reminds me of the Jaclyn Hill Becca face palette here. It has that little peach embellishment on the end. You just twist that to open her up. She has a large mirror. But the beautiful matte color range on this is what made her a winner. The range, the formula, honey. You had deep shades, you had transition shades, brow bone highlights. She was a full package. And at one point in time, Peachy Mattes were just like the rage. And for me personally, I believe it was the Sweet Peach palette or whatever palette they did for them. I took that back because she didn't do it for me. This palette shocked me. Like, I just knew I was going to take this palette back, Ended up loving her. She's my favorite now from the brand. Number 40, Peachy Mattes. If you got her, keep her. If you didn't, you might have missed out on the good one. Number 41, honey. Got me worried, got me a little scared because I did not know the brand discontinued it. And after they didn't came out with a new updated version, I'm sitting back thinking like, Torrence, you might want to go ahead and get that one because they done already said no restock on this new one. So at number 41, we have the Lunar Beauty Moonspell palette. Packaging, beautiful. I still keep it in this box just because of how beautiful that is. The palette itself looks like a book, honey. Fabulous. Manny did his thing. You got a huge mirror, but what makes it even better is you have a beautiful, cohesive color story and an amazing formula. Like, come through, number 41. Manny was not playing with the girls when he did this, and the fact that it's gone, I'm glad I did a tutorial on it before it was gone. But I've been sitting back like, Torrence, the colors in volume 2 really ain't doing it for me. But considering he got rid of this one and he said he gonna get rid of that one, I might have to go ahead and jump on that one. So at number 42, Lunar Beauty. I really wish I could have told y'all about it beforehand, but I couldn't. Whew. I think this is what, number 42, honey? I think so. 2, 3, 4. Yeah. This supposed to be number 42. We got the Makeup Geek palette, honey. I know Makeup Geek don't come out with too many palettes too often, but my absolute favorite one, been discontinued, and she is in the new volume 1. They just came out with a volume 2 version. I have that one as well. She's absolutely beautiful. The formula is amazing, but because I have memories with volume 1, she's personally my favorite. I'm telling you, if you could not get a hold of this one, volume 2 will do the same thing. I promise you it will. But it's just something about this one being just a little more neutral. I believe that volume 2 is slightly warmer because nowadays people do prefer more warmer tones. But because this one is a little more neutral, it's the one I prefer at number 42, and it's my favorite, and I'm never getting rid of it. Number 43, honey, I gave these out in the giveaway because it's my favorite from the brand. I love, love, love it, and was so hurt when they announced they were discontinuing it. But number 43, the Tribe palette by Juvia's Place. Honey, even though I know they're getting rid of it, I really wish they could just go in. Oh, I don't know what is up with these hiccups and these burps today. Oh my goodness. What was I saying? With this palette, excuse me. They is really fighting with me. Once again, with this palette, I really wish they could shrink the pan sizes of this and extend this. I want like a Wahala Volume 3 version of this palette. Just look at her. Look at how fabulous this is. You have cohesive matte and shimmer colors, and to me, 9 pans were not enough to tell the story that this wants to tell. I want a big 25-30 pan palette of Juvia's Place formula and colors with this green theme here being the inspiration. Since y'all took this from us, I want this plus the Nomad palette plus the Zulu palette all in one big happy family, honey. Just please give it to me because this is fabulous. And I'm telling you, at number 43, if you didn't get it, I think you really missed out on the moment because Juvia's Place really put their foot down on this one. Like, I absolutely love it. Same thing with this one here. Although most of these shades I believe can be purchased as individuals, they no longer make this palette. At number 44, honey, my favorite Urban Decay palette because I'm someone who likes sparkle, I like glitter. So the Moon Dust palette, it was for me. I had never seen a palette with a packaging that was just so nice and firm and sturdy, but then turn around and give me these beautiful sparkly shades because I was a fan of collecting the singles. So when I seen the price on this palette, I had to have her. And you would think these little, pop of colors, these greens, these blues, these purples is the ones I would like the most. No, the one I used to wear the most is this neutral here lithium. He was easily my most used shade in this palette, and that's what shocked me, and that's one of the reasons why I love her, because she showed me Neutrals can be just as beautiful and just as sparkly as the colorful shades if they're done right. This last group, honey, start with number 45. These are all palettes that are no longer available, but they didn't cost that $50 price tag. They were a little more affordable, probably not by much, but number 45 through 50 is the ones that I just had to show y'all. And I'm looking at them, I believe all of these were actually collab palettes, which surprised me. So, starting off, number 45, the best palette, in my opinion, that BH Cosmetics has ever put out. And if you missed it, you missed it, because I bought the entire collection. And I really wish I would have bought it back up. The first, it's my Ray Ray palette. The first one is where it was at, honey. I am telling you, look at this. And I still keep my little plastic in here just to make sure if for any reason I ever want to go back in and disinfect it or anything, I can. But look at this. It came with 15 eyeshadows, matte black, honey. You had matte purples and things. Same thing with your matte and shimmers. Then you had a face palette, highlighters and contours, honey. Get into it. You start doing your whole face. Look at these, and these colors were so pigmented, so smooth. The shimmers were so metallic. I was hurt that they got rid of it. I'm like, this was a palette that BH could have just kept restocking and restocking and restocking, and everybody would have loved it. And then y'all remember when they came out and did a volume 2, everybody was upset that they wanted this exact same formula. It was slightly changed, but it wasn't quite as good as this. So at number 45, BH, if y'all ever want to restock this and y'all need some startup money, I help donate to get it going, because this was a bomb palette for number 45. Number 46. She ain't around no more. I got her simply because I wanted to support the best friend. A lot of people may not have wanted to, but especially once I realized, what is his name? Hayden Williams did the illustration work for it. Had to have it. Kylie and Jordan palette for Kylie Cosmetics. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, honey. As you can see, I went in, rearranged my shades. Wanted to see if y'all can get up into this, honey. If you look, the left half is much more neutral. The right half is much more colorful, honey. And I'm loving her. I think she is absolutely fabulous. This is my favorite Kylie palette, honey. I understand they couldn't keep it because it was a collab, but I really wish they could have came out with all of these shades of singles before they got rid of it. But right here, number 46, Kylie and Jordan, absolutely love them. Number 47. No doubt about it, I had to get it. Everybody got it, and everybody created the exact same look when it came out, because it was a neutral with a pop of blue. But for number 47, the KKW and Mario original palette, you couldn't keep me from it. You couldn't keep me from it. She's beautiful, but everybody used this blue on the lid when they did this tutorial. When they first launched it and did a review, they did that. Everybody, you couldn't find nothing else. So I wore this palette for my 35th birthday. I'll make sure I leave that link right here. And I made sure I did not use the blue because I wanted to show y'all how fabulous she was without it. And I'm telling you, I don't regret nothing. I'm telling y'all, she is fabulous. She may be number 47 right here, but I wore her for my 35th birthday, and she is beautiful. And unfortunately, KKW is rebranching and relaunching, so can't get that one. Number 48 is another collab by Mario. It just seems like when he does a collab, he puts his foot on it and everything is beautiful. I absolutely love this palette. And I think out of every palette that ABH has ever launched, this is the one that they could relaunch and make the absolute most money. The Master Palette by Mario. She's absolutely stunning, honey. Like, look at her. When I pour her out, I know for sure I don't have to worry about things. She's a neutral palette, but she has a pop of blue and a pop of gray. But they're not the world's most over-the-top, most vibrant colors, so they're professional enough that, you know, someone who isn't comfortable with colors could still probably pull those off and not feel, you know, out of place or anything like that. I absolutely love this palette. It gives me no issues, and that's why I have her here at number 48. Number 49 thing is, I only have 2 palettes from the brand, so I had to be honest with myself and say, which one do you like the most? The thing is, because this offers a much more larger color variety, it's why I got it. And that is from Pure Cosmetics, the Raw Beauty Collab palette. I believe this may be called the Duality palette, but I have a tutorial on this one as well. On one side, you can see you get neutrals, and I did a tutorial using the neutrals on this side, and I tried to make sure I used it and made it as orange as possible because I'm not a big fan of oranges. But I haven't quite had a chance to go in and do a tutorial using this colorful side here. And that's the side I want to get into. And it topped my ATN Ortega palette simply because of the variety. But I must admit, I've used the ATN Ortega palette way more times because I got it years before this one. But once again, she's newer, she offers much more color variety, and that's why she's right here at number 49. And the last palette, she's just simply down here at the bottom. I did not try to make this last, it just happens to be that way. Number 50, my favorite palette from the brand, my most used, and I was so hurt that they changed the formula. This is one of those palettes where, like Charlotte Tilbury, they still carry the palette by the same name, but she's not quite the same if you get her now because the colors and formulas have changed. And that for me, number 50, favorite of all time for Morphe, the original Jaclyn Hill palette. I was about to say volume 1. The other one is called volume 2. This one is just called the Jaclyn Hill palette. And she's absolutely stunning, honey. 35 neutral colors. Well, you got your pop of colors. Whether you want to do all neutrals, an all matte look, all colorful, whether you want to go green, whether you want to go purple, whether you want to go blue, honey, she offered everything. She was just, to me, like the ultimate neutrals palette when she dropped. I'm telling you, when I was freelancing, this was easily, this and the Huda Beauty Warm Browns palettes, easily my most repurchased of all times. And I was so glad I managed to get one more before they finally changed the formula, because I would have been so upset to not have it in my collection. You could not pay me to get rid of this one, and many times it makes me truly want to go in and look up to see if I can find another one, but because you don't know how long the shelf life and things is of makeup, it's hard to want to purchase secondhand. But her, absolutely fabulous. You could not get her out of my clutches. I'm going to keep her forever. Hopefully one day I may even get a chance to meet Jaclyn Hill and she could sign it for me. But I'm hoping you all truly did enjoy this video, honey. Once again, please forgive me for the foggy brain. It is late at night, so a lot of words were slurred, a lot of numbers was miscounted, but we're going to try to go over this video, make sure we keep everything numbered. I'm going to make sure in the description bar I leave all 50 palettes listed and exactly what their original retail price is if I can find it. With some palettes, you know, they go on sale and things like that, and it may be hard to find it, but I'm going to try to find original reviews of those. With all of these palettes, if you want a tutorial with any of them, just leave me a comment down below. I'm going to also try to get tutorials out for you all this coming Wednesday and Saturday. I cannot promise you all that I will be able to do 7 Halloween tutorials next week because I have to go back to the doctor and my leg has been bothering me. But I will be trying to do my 3 videos that I normally do. So I am going to try to get up at least 3 Halloween tutorials for you all. But right now, once again, I'm just trying to make sure my health is what comes first. I'm so glad that you all are understanding and cooperative and supportive of me. So with nothing else, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. But with nothing else, I hope you all remember to practice, continue to stay blessed, and until next time, goodbye, YouTube.